Behold! This venture holds within many spoils. Haveth the foresight to avert thine eyes, if thou dost wish yonder play to be fresh.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast brought to you by TVCaptive.com for Season 5, Episode 3, Warehouse 13, A Faire to Remember. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have my co-host, Mike.
Good morrow.
Are you going to do the whole episode in Old English?
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
I can't. It would... No. After that little spoiler intro, I'm losing it. Not because of the intro itself. I was fine, but the look on Omi's face sitting over there after I did it, the rolling the eyes like, oh my god. Broke me. It broke me.
I wish we could have caught that on camera.
I wish we could have caught that on camera too.
So...
Oh god, I'm gonna die.
So, this episode was kind of a mix. It was half story, half fun, and I think it was a nice blend. They seemed to nail it down. We get to see a Ren Fair this week.
Oh yeah, Ren Fair was pretty awesome.
Steve and Pete headed off to the Ren Fair to pick up an unknown artifact. I personally, I've never been to a Ren Fair. I know you have. So how was the portrayal of the Ren Fair on TV compared to the real thing?
It was all right. I mean, it was good. I mean, the Ren Fair I've been, it doesn't, remind me of the Ren Fair I've been to, but then again, the Ren Fair we go to is pretty awesome, I gotta say.
Like, what do they have? I'm assuming they do, like, battles and stuff like that, choreographed sword fight and all that, like...
They do a living chess match, they do choreographed sword battles, they have all kinds of other goofy things, jugglers, and, like, hundreds of different shops, like, where you can get all kinds of trinkets and handmade goodies.
Can you get your fortune read?
Yeah, there's a couple fortune-telling things.
They have tarot cards?
They have tarot cards, not magic tarot cards, but I think they'll do tarot readings somewhere.
Will they have Mother Shipton's tarot cards?
They will not have her tarot cards.
Why not?
Because, no.
I don't know, they seem pretty appropriate for the episode.
Speaking of which, this Ren Fair does have the one I'm talking about does have a wizard, and while he doesn't shoot lightning bolts out of a staff, the man is, I swear, a wizard. Because he disappears from... Like, you'll be talking to him, and he'll, like, look over and, get your attention to something behind you. You look behind you for 1 second and turn around, and he is gone. Like,
wow.
He pulls a Batman.
That's incredible.
And it's terrifying. Like, yeah, he pulls the Batman. But, one side note, disembodied voice over there. Dom has never been to a Renaissance fair in his life. Is the reaction.
What can I say?
Yep.
Anyway, the Mother Shipton's tarot cards. What did you think of them?
They were, pretty interesting. I honestly had no idea what, I had no idea what was doing the little thing. I thought, that Jester was some creep with, an artifact doing all kinds of horrible things.
Turned up to be his, future girlfriends.
Yeah, well, his
mother.
His future girlfriend's grandma's.
Or grandma, yeah.
That lady was insane.
Yeah, so apparently the tarot cards were once owned by an English soothsayer, Ursula Salthiel, better known as Mother Shipton. The tarot cards have the power to cause prophecies that are dealt with the cards to become true. Were you a little worried when we found out that the death card was dealt to him?
I knew something, they'd figure out some way to stop it, but it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Death card embodied is like, I was expecting the Black Knight. As soon as I saw the horse, I'm like, really? It's going to be the Black Knight.
That would have been cool.
That would have been awesome. Would have been hilarious.
So then, while the whole Renaissance Fair angle was going on, we actually got a lot of actual story between Micah and Claudia, who were supposed to be at the warehouse helping Artie recategorize and put all the dark artifacts into the dark vault. But instead, Claudia had a little side project she was working on. She was trying to help her sister out. We knew this was coming. So she decides to start using some artifacts to unwhammy her sister Claire. Micah surprisingly went along with this behind Artie's back. She's kind of been the goody-goody for so long that she follows protocol, stuff like that. Was it a little weird for you that she was so quick to help Claudia?
No, because as she put it, she could never live without her sister, so yeah. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that she helped her.
Yeah. In the process, what were they using? They were using Bob Dylan's bus transfer. Which his transition from acoustic to electric caused a major change in his music, caused by uproar by his fans. This bus transfer was imbued with the power to transfer energy. So they used that to transfer the energy from Francis Farmer's music box that was in Claire to
The biscuit bin.
Alessandro Volta's biscuit bin.
Now here goes my question. How many of Volta's artifacts are in the warehouse? Because I think this is the third one they've thrown at us. Because we were just rewatching the first season, and Claudia gets stuck to an I-beam in the warehouse using Volta's lab coat. Lab coat? Yeah, lab coat. And she just started, it just keeps building a bigger magnetic field every time something gets stuck to her.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, so there's a lot of his artifacts in there. But the artifact was once owned by scientist Alessandro Volta, who is most famous for inventing the battery and was imbued with energy of storing properties. So they used it to store the energy from the music box from Claire, which didn't exactly work.
No, it didn't work very well. I mean, towards the end of the episode, Artie even said, do you think you think I wouldn't have thought of that already?
Yeah. Micah ends up getting whammied in the process.
Yeah, while trying to transfer the energy, Micah winds up taking it on, and
this is not the first time Micah has been whammied.
This is not the first time she has been whammied, and it will probably not be the last time. Actually, I think the whole next episode she's going to be whammied again.
Again? Yeah. Not only will she be whammied, but so will Pete and Artie. Actually, I think the whole cast will, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll get into that in a bit. Claire ends up, while Mike is whammied, Claudia's unknown to this. She has no clue, because Micah ended up heading back to the warehouse. She was talking with Artie, trying to help him and cover for Claudia. Claudia takes her sister Claire out to get out into the world, have like a good day.
Show her how expensive coffees become.
Yeah. We'll play some acoustic guitar, sing some garbage tunes. I don't mean terrible tunes. I mean the band Garbage. And kind of catch up on the fact that her sister is now 30 years old.
Right, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, that's like, I wasn't expecting that, but now that I think about it, it makes sense. She got put into a coma when she was 15. 15 years later, she's still going to be the mind of a 15-year-old in a 30-year-old's body.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is probably going to fuck you up. I mean, if that ever happened to you, you'd probably need some adjustment time.
What would you do if you went to bed right now and woke up 15 years later?
If I woke up in 15 years, I'd probably have a series of about a half a dozen questions to ask, and then honestly, I don't know how I would handle it. I'd probably be freaked the fuck out depending on the answers to those, first questions.
We would have a lot of podcasts to catch up on.
We'd have a lot of podcasts to catch up on. Are you crazy?
Yes, I am.
Huh? Fuck the podcast. I'd have to go skydiving.
Oh, fun.
Okay. I wouldn't go skydiving.
I go,
I don't think
I go sky
15-year.
surfing with the surfboard.
Yes, 15-year coma. I honestly don't think my fear of heights will be eliminated by a coma.
Sure it will.
No.
That's how these things work. So, um, it's revealed that, like we were talking about, Micah has the energy transferred to her. Artie's tried everything in the past 15 years to do whatever he can to get this right, to get Claire out of the coma. Unfortunately, they couldn't figure out a way, and that means Micah had to transfer the energy back to Claire, and they had to put Claire back into the coma.
Right, because, yeah, all right, I got, why they did it and all that stuff. They had to transfer the energy into a living person, but couldn't they have found some other living recipient who was worse? Like they have a
Yeah.
whole bronze sector filled with, horrible people.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That
Like
the
go
end of this episode, I go, just go wake somebody up from the bronze sector, transfer the
take
energy, and then rebronze them.
take your tranquilizer dart, gun that failed to take out Micah, debronze somebody, shoot them with the dart, keep them unconscious, transfer the energy, and then rebronze them. If they could even be rebronzed. If not, put them in a coma like you did, with Claire.
Yep.
And voila, there you go. Claire is saved, free from all of that whamminess, and a guy who was bronzed is now in a coma instead. What is the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing I thought of, and I'm like, they're probably still going to end up doing something very similar to that. And I came to a very logical conclusion. H.G. Wells.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could do that. My, thing. Yeah, my thing. What was I going to say
I
here?
don't want to know about that.
No, but yeah, like, how, they can come up with these. Oh, that would be inhumane. Really inhumane. They are encased in a plating of bronze, fully conscious for the rest of eternity. How is that humane?
Oh, it's not.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
But the last time we saw H.G. Wells, she was living in Wisconsin. She was going under the name Emily Lake. She was a forensic scientist who was working with the crime lab for like their local police department.
Uh-huh.
She was trying to live a normal life. She was trying to do everything she could to stay away from artifacts in the warehouse and all that stuff. But somehow it feels like, because she called Pete and Micah when the police were using like some jawbone or some crazy thing to get people to confess.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Something along those lines.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since that episode, but it seems like she couldn't get away, even though that's what she was trying to do, and she was seeing somebody at the time, but I feel like something's gonna happen. We do know H.G. Wells will be somewhere in these last few episodes. I don't expect her next week, but either in episode 5 or 6, she will be appearing. We know that much. So
Okay.
My guess is that something's gonna have happened to the guy. She's gonna realize that her place is she doesn't belong in this time. Like, she was a time traveler. She came from whatever. She's bronzed, and she's had enough. It's whatever. It's time to make the ultimate sacrifice to help the warehouse.
Yeah, I agree. Do it.
So, yep. Some of the other artifacts that we did see in this episode, once again, this is the second time this season, we've seen Lewis Carroll's mirror.
Okay.
It was also in the alternate universe, but in this episode, it was in shard form. It was in a box that Artie was carrying, and we did see Alice was still in there.
That's because, right, a couple seasons ago, they shattered the mirror.
Yep. Miles Davis's first trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
was one of the artifacts. It was in the new and improved Dark Vault. That's the one that just kept blowing off over and over. Artie ended up repeatedly using a canister to neutralize the artifact, because Micah's whammy effect was pouring out negative energy into this thing. Don't quite know what would have happened if the trumpet went active.
Yeah, I have
clue.
no idea.
Yeah. Then we saw Attila the Hun's helmet.
Till the Hun's helmet. That would have probably turned somebody into a raging murderer. Or a rampaging force or something like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not know what this artifact would do, but it's implied to be very malicious. Very malicious. Then we saw an Aztec bloodstone.
We already know what that is from the very first episode.
Episode 1. So right here we have a flashback all the way back to the beginning where this all started with. And Micah was threatening to throw it at Artie, and that would not have been good. Then we have Pliny the Elder's scroll. Which
we saw in a previous episode. Joshua was stuck in it, I think, in the middle of the 3rd season.
Yeah.
Or 4th season or something.
Yep. It was episode...
I got it.
Episode 9 of season 4.
Yep.
And Artie sent the scroll to Joshua to distract Claudia. And then it was used in this episode to temporarily immobilize Micah.
Yes, before she blew people up. Mentally.
Yeah, the Amber Shell did not hold her for very long at all.
No.
Then we also saw Sylvia Plath's typewriter, which we've seen in previous episodes as well.
Yeah, the typewriter almost had... That was actually in an early episode. I think that was the last episode we watched together. Rewatching. Yeah, typewriter just gets you to stand there depressed until you kill yourself.
Yeah, I believe it was episode 10 from season 1. So, and I know Pete was really affected by the typewriter.
Yeah.
And then we saw... I can't even pronounce this. Isol... EC... How do you pronounce that?
Ilsa Koch.
Ilsa? Oh,
Or
that's,
Ilsa
that's an
Koch.
IL. Got it. Ilsa Koch's whip. We've seen in the Dark Vault. And Micah whipped it at Artie. And you heard cracking, roaring thunder.
Yeah, I actually looked this up because I was interested. I'm like, what is that, Indiana Jones's whip or something? Apparently, no. She was Nazi. She was some kind of supervisor at a Nazi concentration camp.
Yeah, she was a murderess.
Yeah.
So, she was accused of taking souvenirs from the skin of murdered inmates with distinctive tattoos.
It's just pleasant.
Yeah.
Not pleasant. No, it's very unpleasant. You're keeping souvenirs of skin. Come on, you're one screwed up little person.
Yes. I don't know. It was kept. We also saw this in the alternate version of Warehouse 13, when Paracelsus used it to disarm Steve.
Yep.
So, Dark Vault definitely interesting. We got to see a lot of old artifacts that were troubled before. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like these artifacts are still very secure in the new vault.
No, and I think that's kind of, didn't Micah say that at one point? She's like, if you can even call this a vault, like
it's just like a room where they're all on display.
Oh God.
Like lock them up.
Now, I just got remembered of the end of this episode. The princess. Princess is all depressed, like, oh, the guy, went out with the other girl. Pete's like, can't leave anybody left out. Like, hey, 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 I had a lot to do in that saving. Oh my God, that's so awesome. You want to go get a chai latte? Pete's face was fucking brilliant. Just like, oh God, what did I get myself into?
I think the look on Steve's face was equally as brilliant.
Yep, like, serves you right, you man whore.
I don't know, the episode ended up in like a little embrace. The Artie was like, "Don't hug me." He's trying to be like, I helped your sister. I've been trying to help your sister, rather. I've been trying to do this, but let's never do anything alone. We're in this together from now on. And then Claudia goes in to give him a hug, and he's like, "Don't do that. I'm gonna start crying." Claudia respectfully backs off, doesn't do it. When Artie goes to leave, in comes Micah. And just started crying. It was kind of like a little touching moment because it felt almost as if this was kind of the characters starting to say goodbye, because we know the season's coming to, a quick end. We're halfway through already.
Yeah, which sucks.
It's awful. I'm so upset. Like, this was one of my favorite shows, but after the incident of last season, I could kind of understand.
Yeah.
Cleo is actually in chat with us right now as we're recording this, and she demands 100 Nazi scalps.
Okay.
She wants skin souvenirs.
She wants. Is that gonna be? We're playing D&D tonight. Is that your Is that gonna be Suzanne's new thing, Cleo? You're gonna take the scalps of your defeated enemies as souvenirs.
Yeah, that's what the Suzanne experience wants.
With 100 Nazi scalps. All right, so now I have to somehow write Nazis into my campaign.
That's what she wants. She 100% wants that. So next week, the episode is called Savage Seduction. I was talking about this a little bit last week, but in it, Pete, Micah, and Artie help Pete's ex-girlfriend, Kelly, track down an artifact that sucks them all into a Spanish telenovela.
This is going to be amazing, because it reminds me, like I said, instantly of Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser's first wish. Like, I want to be rich and powerful and all this other stuff, and she turns him into a Mexican drug lord.
Yeah.
This ought to be just amazing.
Oh, it's going to be.
Artie looks like he's, a mariachi guy or a matador or something. I don't even know what the hell he is. But it just looks amazing.
Did you call him Archie?
Artie, I said. God, did I say Archie?
It sounded like Archie.
Yeah, I did not say Archie. Clean your ears out, sir.
Okay, I might have to
Don't
do
start.
that. So, there was an episode of Psych, which I briefly went into, where they were filming a Spanish telenovela. And in it, Saul Rubnik, who plays Artie, was the director of the Spanish telenovela. So he's had a little experience in this. And I was watching on Sci-Fi that there was, in fact, an interview with them saying that this was their favorite episode to record. They spent a lot of time, was it like 6 to 8 months or something, learning Spanish for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, so they could speak it fluently, all that fun stuff. They said they had a lot of fun with it. And Saul even said that the Psych episode was kind of the inspiration for it because of how much fun that they had on set doing that.
Oh my God. So
So
wait, who directed that?
he wasn't. No, he was the fake director.
Oh, right.
In the show, Saul was guest starring as the director of the Spanish telenovela in Psych, and his character Artie, that we know from this show, he's going to be involved in the Spanish telenovela this time, like actually in it, where not as the director. So this should be super interesting.
It's ought to be. Yeah, I can't wait for this episode. It looks hilarious.
And Cleo's even in chat right now. She goes, "That sounds like the soap opera episode of Psych." We're on a little bit of a delay, so just as she's saying that, she's now hearing me talk about it, and in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, she'll hear the part where I'm talking to her. So, There she goes. Oh my god, that's right. She's freaking out. See?
Okay, she's freaking out. That's great.
Yeah, so I don't know, the preview for it looked amazing. But it kind of looks like another side tangent episode, which I'm not going to complain about because this one was a 50-50 split. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're going to have it appears to be a full, just like fun episode that they're going to have. And I don't know, but I expect the last 2 episodes to kind of be main story plot.
Yeah.
The episode 5 is called Kangu Shisi. I can't pronounce Mandarin.
Yeah, it's Kangu. I don't remember, but I remember it meant something in
Warehouse 14.
Oh yeah, it means Warehouse 14 in Mandarin.
And then episode 6, which is the finale, is called Endless. So I don't know. It's coming to a close really quick.
3 more weeks.
Super sad.
Depressing. I like this show a lot. But at least it's not on Fox because it would have been canceled years ago.
Ooh, burn.
Fuck
It's true,
Fox.
though. It's true. I don't know. It's like sci-fi, as much as people give them crap for canceling shows like Stargate Universe, they do stick it out even when shows kind of are struggling a bit. They give them a chance. Warehouse 13. They probably. It probably cost them more money to do this final season than it was worth for them, but it was kind of a fan service. Kind of wrap up all the storylines and stuff like that, and I'm very, very thankful for them for doing that. So.
Yep.
Mike, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Thilladren, THILLADREN.
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can find us both on tvcaptive.com, as well as right here on YouTube, as well as on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, and G+/ASOTV podcast. There you can find some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, retweet, share, discuss. We need feedback. We want to know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what you guys want us to cover. Maybe some topics for discussion that we'll bring up on our next upcoming episodes. So until then, see you guys later.
Bye.
I'm going to have to do the intro next week in Spanish.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't do it.
Yeah. It'll be fun.